The phrase, "the only easy day was yesterday," is not meant to inspire comfort or confidence. It exists to erase the idea that anything about tomorrow will be easier than today. Because for the men who become Navy SEALs, difficulty is not an obstacle, but a constant companion, one that follows them across oceans, deserts, frozen coastlines, dense jungles, and crowded cities where uncertainty hides behind every corner. Navy SEALs were never designed to be the biggest force on the battlefield, nor the loudest, nor the most visible. They were built to arrive quietly, adapt instantly, and operate where conventional forces struggle to function. Their identity begins not with strength, but with versatility, the ability to move seamlessly from sea to air, to land without hesitation, without reset, and without the luxury of perfect conditions. When political tension escalates into chaos, when intelligence is incomplete, and when timing determines success or failure, these small teams are positioned forward, often already in place, before the world becomes aware that something is about to happen. The structure behind the Navy SEALs is vast, yet deliberately unseen, operating under Naval Special Warfare Command, a system designed to support global readiness while keeping the operational footprint as light as possible, allowing SEAL units to deploy rapidly and remain flexible in environments that shift faster than command centers can react. Across the world, teams rotate through forward positions, training constantly to stay ahead of emerging threats, not just with weapons or equipment, but with mindset, decision-making, and trust built over years of shared experience. Becoming a SEAL requires surviving a selection process that is less about physical dominance and more about mental durability, where exhaustion strips away ego, fear exposes intention, and quitting becomes a daily temptation rather than a single decision, ensuring that those who remain are not simply strong individuals, but reliable teammates capable of functioning under extreme stress without supervision. Once inside the teams, hierarchy matters less than competence, and leadership is measured by calmness rather than authority, because in isolated operations, there may be no second chance to recover from hesitation or poor judgment. SEAL teams are organized to remain small, modular, and adaptable, breaking down into platoons, squads, and even pairs depending on the mission, allowing them to operate independently for extended periods while still remaining connected to a larger intelligence and support network that feeds information, logistics, and strategic direction from behind the scenes. Their missions vary widely, from reconnaissance and surveillance to direct action and strategic disruption, often blending patience with sudden intensity, where weeks of silence may end in moments that determine the outcome of an operation. Supporting these teams are specialized units that extend their reach, including underwater delivery systems and high-speed maritime craft crews, enabling silent insertion and extraction from coastlines, rivers, and open ocean, where visibility is low and mistakes are unforgiving. While public attention often focuses on the most secretive elements of the SEAL community, the reality is that every successful mission depends on coordination, preparation, and support that rarely receives recognition, from intelligence analysts to logistics planners who ensure that teams arrive equipped, informed, and prepared for scenarios that cannot be fully predicted. Despite their reputation, Navy SEALs do not operate as lone warriors. They function as interconnected systems built on mutual trust, where each individual carries responsibility not only for the mission, but for the lives of those beside them. This bond is not ceremonial, but practical, forged through repeated exposure to risk, discomfort, and uncertainty, creating a culture where accountability is absolute and reliability is non-negotiable. Over time, the profession takes a toll, both physically and mentally, as years of deployment, training, and separation from normal life reshape priorities and perspective, reinforcing the understanding that service is temporary, but its consequences are lasting. The legacy of the Navy SEALs is not found in symbols or slogans, but in quiet outcomes, operations that prevent larger conflicts, stabilize volatile regions, or conclude before they ever become public knowledge. Their effectiveness lies in restraint as much as action, in choosing when not to strike, when to observe, and when to withdraw without recognition. In the end, the identity of a Navy SEAL is not defined by the environments they conquer, but by the discipline to endure pressure without collapse, to adapt without complaint, and to continue forward, knowing that yesterday's hardship was merely preparation for what comes next.